Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, right here for the 3rd of March, 2014. Now, I want to make sure, I want to make sure you know why certain things I want everyone to know that there are certain things that I talk about that may seem controversial. Okay. I just want to point that out. There's some things that I believe that some people might think are controversial. And I think to myself, well, you know, if I talk about these things, maybe people will go out and actually do some homework and figure it out. You know, and draw their own conclusions and make up their own minds and, you know, all of that. Right? So, in terms of what we are, you know, what are we? Well, I'll talk about that here in a minute, because I'll take a minute break and I shall be back. I got to go answer the phone, really, and I shall return. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman.
Misfit is a misfit.
Samo.
Ignorant of hygiene. Destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful.
It's the 5:15 with Samo on Samo Radio.
AM 1700 Daytona Beach, Holly Hill.
And Southnet 1.
Hey, folks, I'm back. How you doing? Yeah, you know, I like caller ID. Just gonna say that. I like caller ID. So, what are the controversial subjects? Well, first of all, let me put it to you this way. I don't honestly believe that people really know what they seem to try to understand. In other words, they can look at something, they can examine it, it's there, it's, you know, whatever it is, you know, controversial subjects such as, you know, name one. I mean, I'm sure you have one in your mind. But when you look at it, you're never going to get a complete understanding of it until you do the research. Okay, and from what I've seen, and this is just me, from what I've seen, I have researched quite a lot. Lots of controversial subjects, lots of things that you would consider controversial, whatever. But the bottom line is if it's not in a way that you understand it, you throw it into the bin of, oh, it's controversy, or it's this, or it's that, because you don't understand it. And how can you not understand a subject when all of the information is out there that you can use to draw your own conclusion on that issue or subject? Yeah, I mean, seriously. Now, one of the subjects that I talk about on this show, on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, and this is a podcast. I'm not live today. I've got way too much to do, but one of the subjects that I talk about on this show is politics. So let me flip that coin over and ask this question. Why are we politicizing everything on the face of the planet? Why? It's real simple. Everybody wants a category and a, well, I don't want to say category. Everyone wants to believe that they know what they're talking about without having to do their homework on the issues and subjects of political nature. Now, when they do, it's great. When they do, it's fantastic. When they do, debate and discussions ensue. And it's great. It's wonderful. But here's the other thing. here's the other thing. And I know this for a fact because I see it every day. Most people who discuss certain things literally don't know what they're talking about. Now, excuse me, you might think, okay, you know what you're talking about, you've done your research, okay. When you talk to somebody else about it, they'll bring in this little piece of information that you may not have seen or understood. And what's the first reaction you have? It's like, oh, I don't know, whatever. And you get a little bit out of shape, I'm sure. My whole point is this. You've got the opportunity to learn as much as you can, but you're not taking advantage of all of that information, and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And those issues that you don't want to talk about, don't want to discuss, and you just want to watch your Academy Awards and watch your sports programs, all those subjects that you don't want to talk about are thrown into the controversy category. Well, it's too controversial to me, I don't want to know. Or it's too political for me and I don't want to know. It's this, it's that. And whatever excuse you come up with for not wanting to understand it, it does make a difference. It does make a difference in terms of learning about it. Therefore, you don't have to throw it into the area of controversy. You can at least discuss it. And, of course, questions arise like, well, what good would it do if we discuss it, but our leaders in our, cities and towns and counties and governments don't discuss it and don't get the real issues? Well, that's where you need to stand up and take the reins and say, I'm going to go and talk to them about this. And that whole issue can be controversial. That whole issue can be, let's say, diluted with lack of understanding. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and you can examine all of this any way you want and purposely put yourself in the realm of not wanting to know as well as not knowing what it is anyway. Or you can find the information and learn about it. Right? Sounds kind of better, doesn't it? Learn about the subjects that you talk about. Don't just look at it and tell me, well, I don't want to talk about it because it's political, and I don't want to talk political stuff, and blah, 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 blah. Or look at me and say, I disagree with you, and then I ask why, and can you show me why? And you sit there with your finger up your ass and say, well, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Really? Huh. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I don't know, man. I'm just putting it out there. You know? I'm just putting it out there.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
Yes, I'm here. I'm going to pop that little promo in there from Dave the Rave. So think about this, folks. I'm only going to be here, another 3.5, 4 minutes. But think about this. You have the opportunity to learn everything you need to know to not only have a great discussion and debate with somebody else, but also be able to understand it for your own educational edification and knowledge and understanding. Doesn't that appeal to you? Doesn't that appeal to you? I'm just wondering. Hey, come join me. Come join me on the Wayne S. Pierce Show today at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And also come join me on The Views Expressed, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm having a little difficulty with my desktop computer and the mouse and some programming, and I don't know what the heck's going on. But on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, I would hope that any of you tech gurus out there and computer geniuses out there can at least come into the chat room on the Spreaker side of things, and I'll tell you what's going on. All right? We'll talk later. Come join me. Views Express live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and also the Wayne S. Pierce Show, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And if you want to email me, you can email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Talk to you later.